What if I told you that a man died not once, not twice, but 23 times? I don't mean metaphorically, or I don't mean emotionally. I mean clinically, medically, flatlined. And even more shocking, each time he came back. No one can explain it. This is the real story of the man who died 23 times and came back. Meet John Smith. His name has been changed for privacy. In the early 2000s, John began suffering from a rare and terrifying heart condition. It caused his heart to stop randomly. No trauma, no warning, just silence. But every time he was pronounced dead, he somehow came back. Medical professionals were baffled. Some called it a glitch. Others said it was just a miracle. But it would not stop, and the count kept rising. It happened for the very first time on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. John had just returned home from work when he felt a little off, dizzy, disconnected. He sat down, and that is the last thing that he remembered. His wife found him collapsed on the floor, his body completely unresponsive, no pulse, no breath. He was just gone. The paramedics arrived within minutes of his collapse. They worked furiously, cycling through CPR, chest compressions, and defibrillation. After 7 minutes of clinical death, John's heart spontaneously restarted. The EMTs were astonished. They had not delivered a shock to him during that moment when his heart just simply came back online. By now, John Smith had died more times than anyone could explain, and lived to talk about it. But the next incident wasn't a dramatic accident. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday over a cup of coffee. John was working at a local manufacturing plant. The break room had a leaky ceiling, old wiring, and a coffee maker that had seen better days. As he leaned down to grab his mug, his hand brushed the counter. An exposed wire met a puddle of water. 2,400 volts of stray current parked through his chest. Witnesses say that John Smith flew backward and hit the wall. His body stiffened, then nothing. No pulse, no breathing, gone. Paramedics arrived within minutes. Shocked him once, nothing. Twice, still flatlined. But after the third jolt, his body lurched forward and he whispered, "Am I late for work?" His heart was beating, weak but steady. Death had tried again and again. John Smith said, "Not today." After his fourth documented clinical death, John Smith became more than just a mystery. He became a medical case study. A team of neurologists and cardiologists from 3 different hospitals began combing through his records. ECGs, brain scans, blood panels, all of it. The results were impossible. John Smith had no scar tissue on his heart, no signs of trauma, No neurological damage from his 14-minute clinical death. One cardiologist even joked, "I've seen corpses with more consistent EKGs." At first, some believed that he had a rare autonomic disorder, but every test came back normal. Genetic markers clean, brain chemistry normal. They ran dozens of simulations. Nothing could replicate his survival. No theory held up. One neurologist wrote in her report, "If what we are seeing is real, then science is missing something." And John, he just kept going to work like nothing had ever happened. John Smith didn't ask for attention. He never sought any fame. But somewhere between life and death, something found him. Doctors could not explain him. Science could not measure him. And death, it couldn't keep him. Today, his journals are locked away in storage. His family rarely speaks of what happened. But those who knew him say he always seemed to be waiting, as if one day, whatever kept sending him back would finally call him home. Was it luck, or a rare condition, or something far beyond what we may understand? In the end, maybe it's not about how many times you die, but what you come back knowing. If this story rattled your sense of reality, even just a little bit, then you're in the right place. Stay tuned for more strange and unexplainable phenomena.